Hello folks, Reverend Crystal Cox here, and I want to talk to you today about Kryon. I've talked about Kryon before, and a lot of you are really new to the Kryon information, and so I just want to talk to you a little bit about my connection to Kryon. The first book of Kryon that came out was, I don't remember, it was around 1989. It was a little white book. And I read that first book, and it talked about releasing karma and just basically giving your intention to do it. And it was really far out stuff, but I really liked it. At that time, I wasn't really into the Pleiadian information, and I didn't really associate Kryon as of Pleiadian origin or information, which now I do know that Kryon is part of the Pleiadian information. Now, Kryon is of magnetic service. Kryon came here to switch the magnetic grids and to help us in many ways, just as the Pleiadians. Now, the Kryon books, I started, well, like I said, I read the first one the minute it came out, and I have no idea why. I know now that it's spiritually why I did it, but I'm not really sure what led me to that first book. At any rate, it felt right. It felt right in my body. It talked about taking some sort of an implant where you ask for the energy and like I said, releasing karma. And I felt very akin to the information. And I read book two. Book two was a purple book. Those of you who read Kryon know that when book two came along, it fell apart. And they were a lot of them were, well, they weren't recalled, but Lee Carroll, the man who channels Kryon, ended up giving a mass amount of books to a prison because of that. And so that was very important as well. When I finished book two, I was in Hawaii, and I was kind of bummed because I was really into the information, and just a lot of information about talking to your DNA and different things with children, and it was like I couldn't believe that there was a book on earth that was like my dreams and like my visions and like what I knew. I felt like I was in such a dense place here on Mother Earth, and I was never really going to find people of like kind, and I had dreams and visions and things that I knew. And once I started reading the Kryon books, I didn't feel like I was alone anymore. I still was a loner. I went to Kryon channelings twice. I didn't go to all of them and connect with a bunch of the people, but at least I knew that there were others on the planet that felt like I did and saw the things that I saw, and I felt like these books were kind of a guide. So when I finished that book, I was with a friend in Hawaii, and I was like, well, now what? And we went on this walk, and we seen a poster for a Kryon channeling. And that was just really amazing to me, and it was like 20 minutes from where we were camped. So we hitchhiked up there, and I went to that channeling, and I don't know where my notes are now, but I wrote down every single word that he said. And that was book three, which is the one I have in my hand now. And so that's kind of a cool book to me now. The books come out ever so often because there's so many newsletters and channeling. And right now it's the end of January 2015. And there's been channelings in Sun Valley, Idaho, and in Boulder, Colorado this month. And I haven't listened to them all. I just read over some of them this morning. And the information that's coming through now about the Pleiadians and the changeover and conspiracy theories and letting go and moving through is all, it's just amazing. So if you read the Kryon information, I don't even know what book you'd start on. I'd pray about that. I think that some of them are lighter information than others. But if you feel kin to the Kryon information, let's just say if you feel really, really, really alone, read the Kryon information, and then of course Barbara Marciniak, Barbara Handclough. But the Kryon information just really made me feel like I belonged on this planet and that I was no longer alone, and I'm not like a groupie, and I don't worship the god of Kryon. I do talk to Kryon now and then. This is channeled in many languages, and having been someone that read this information all this time, I've seen it all come true. And now he does a lot of channeling at the United Nations, and I mean, this is a big deal and timely, and it's the things that they said in newsletters and scientific stuff has all changed. The declination of compasses have changed. This stuff's really happened, so it's a really good guide on your human biology, talking to your DNA. There's just a massive amount of information. But if you can only study one thing, one spiritual thing, I would say it would be Kryon. Again, I love Barbara Marciniak's books on the Pleiadians. Some people don't really relate to her information because it talks a lot of reptilian stuff, which some people are not comfortable with. If you would like to read some Barbara Marciniak information and want to stay away from that, you can start with Path of Empowerment. And of course then Family of Light. The Earth book and Bringers of Dawn are a little bit more reptilian. But at any rate, that's kind of an overview of Kryon, and check it out. God bless you all.